parents feel about you becoming an artist?
Well, my dad had said, you better be good at it, because it's hard making a living as an artist. So I've heard. And so that's what I answered that by working continually and figuring out how to do things, so that it was easy for me to adapt my abilities to the silkscreen medium. And also the silkscreen medium was kind of an open adventure because it was so facile. You could do so many different things with the silkscreen.
Lou and I, when did the two of you start working together?
67.
67. So you were there when the idea for the DuPont Center was kind of germinating.
Yes, I was back and forth in DC, so I wasn't there for some of it, but I was a student.
Had you heard of a space where artists could create work and you could have work displayed at the same time? Was that something that you had heard of at the time?
That was an idea that sort of developed itself over a period of time. We were constantly working.
So, Will, I'm curious, what is your favorite work that's included in the show?
Ooh.
Man.
And I feel like it had better be one of your
Right, my
fathers.
father. I think it's hard not to say the peace poster, so the 5-part piece, because I should say the origin of me encountering the community posters is first by story and hearsay that my dad would say, oh, I printed a poster of Miles Davis and I wanted to see it, and it would always be a kind of, not now, you have to wait. And then, so it was only, I think, around 2016 that I had the chance to uncover these, and they had all been packed since the early 70s when my parents moved in, so 50.
Since we moved from DuPont Circle even.
Yeah. And so with the peace poster, first I saw the P. They were all in different places. It wasn't PEAC.
Oh, so you didn't know what it was?
I had no idea. I saw the P.
Like Scrabble.
Yeah, and then when I saw that it was peace, it was just, wow. I mean, it's such a beautiful print, and it is one of the pieces, kind of like the Wonderful I Love You, this perfect confluence point between the Washington Color School on the one hand and the community poster work with Lloyd McNeil on the other, and it's a movement-based piece, but it's timeless. So, yeah.
But when Will put the piece together, it took me a good. I just kept thinking, I'm not really remembering this and all of that, and then I remembered, there were all the anti-war marches and so forth at DuPont Circle at that time, and so Lou printed on board several of those, I think in different colors, but just solid. And then when it was finished, Lou started having fun on the screen, and that's how that came about, because that was the only one, and we just sort of did it for the fun. I mean, Lou did it for the fun. I mean, that was, we would do a lot of posters, community posters for different organizations, and then we would, if there was a break, then we had a chance to do our own work, and that was always, special when you got to do your own work.
I think it's amazing how many, important artists came through the DuPont Center and how many artists you taught. I'm curious who some of your teachers were.
James Wells was the principal teacher.
At Howard, right?
At Howard, yeah. But also Professor Porter, James Porter. He loved seeing us resolve his problems and print.
I have a question about you know, your relationship to the Phillips. Were you visiting the Phillips often during like the 70s or 80s? Do you remember your first time at the museum?
We were fascinated with the whole idea of working in a museum because everyone was so interested in what we were doing and how we were doing it.
The Phillips is a very approachable place.
Yeah.
You know, you feel intimate, you know. You feel like, oh, I've got to go to that room where my favorite piece is.
Yeah.
You know.
That's how I feel
I think
too.
we always felt that way. And it was just a block away.
Mm.
When we were at DuPont Circle, but we knew the Phillips from before that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always been the place to go.
And so I have one final question. You've done a lot in terms of building up this kind of DC art scene.
Mhm.
What made you decide to stay in DC and to build that kind of community here?
Oh, because I never had time to leave. So we were so busy doing everything for everybody, for all the artists, that it never occurred to us to think about leaving and going someplace else to try something, because everyone came to us.